Corn, are you back there? Are you in there? There you are. Everyone wants to know how you're feeling. Everybody, if you missed Monday's video, Courtney is feeling significantly better. Contrary to her sleepy position, she has gotten so much better. So thank you for all your well wishes. Hello, and welcome back to another Fold and Story Time. Oh my God, do I have a story for you. Firstly, I want to address the fact that this video always looks yellow. In my opinion, I don't mind it. I kind of love the hue. It is giving me that very 60s like sepia tone, which is like my aesthetic to the T. And I guess that's just what my room gives off. Not mad about it, but just so you know, I'm fully aware of it. I suppose I could bring out a light kit. Whatever, here we are. I'm already rambling, so you are in for a long video. Not to mention I have 2 loads of laundry to fold, so here we go. You guys know I'm always like thinking about, okay, what story am I gonna tell? And I always like have this intention about which story I'm going to tell. And then life happens and now I have a new story to tell. But keep this in mind, and if you guys wanna know it, I thought it would be fun to eventually tell some of my horror audition stories, because I have had a lot and some of you have been asking about that. I have like a few specific ones that really stick with me. Traumatic to say the very least. But that would be kind of fun to do. Oh, get it, girl, get it. Do what you need, feel better. I'm gonna take this off though. Can I take this? Okay. I also had expressed earlier in maybe 2 videos ago that I wanted to talk about working at Express Men as well. So if either of those are exciting to you, let me know. But today, I just like had a day where I very much like was reminded and I was very much aware of my age. Now, let's go ahead and preface the crap out of this saying, 1, I like love getting older. I genuinely do. Like, I think like a fine wine, I feel like life gets better with age. Sure, a lot of like things come with it, like my back hurts a little bit more and there's far more responsibilities and like, you know. Anyways, I actually think getting older is wonderful, and with every year comes more knowledge, and if you continue to work on yourself and self-reflect, like so much good keeps coming, and I'm so grateful. And I also am fully aware of the fact that I'm not that old in the grand scheme of life. I am 39, I'm gonna be 40 next year, and there's so much life ahead of me, God willing. So, I'll preface it all by saying that. That being said, I'm in this stage of my life right now where I'm sort of in this like transition, because I just got married, and like, you know, we're talking about family, which you guys have seen, and like, you know, my brother is having a baby, and my friends are having kids, and we're just sort of starting to feel, Jeff and I as a couple, that like, oh, we are entering into this next chapter of our life. Whether or not we end up having kids, whatever, there's still this like, oh yeah, okay, we're going into the next decade of our life. What does that mean? And blah, blah, blah. So that's just kind of obviously been on the forefront if you've been kind of hanging out on my channel. I've been talking a lot about it, and I think it's like, again, fun to talk about and relevant to talk about, and that's just kind of what's in my life. But today, so 2 specific things that happened that I was just like, oh my God, Lisa, oh my God, you are becoming that person. You are not, more so I guess you are not like, not a teenager, obviously. I think I've kind of succumbed to the fact that I am no longer a teenager, but like, you're not a youngin' anymore. Like, you're not the 20, even late 20s, even early 30-year-olds, right? Like, I kind of was like, oh, I'm the hip and happening person. Like, I know what's happening. Girl, no. So today I go to get my nails done, and I go with a best friend there, and it's really quite fun. And this girl walks in, and she's so cute, and I'm just like, yes, like, I love your vibe, I love your style. I obviously didn't say that like out loud to her, but I was looking at her, and then I was like, oh my God, Lisa, let's review what you think is cool right now. This girl came in, she was clearly like, well, actually I shouldn't say how old she is because I don't actually know, but I would imagine she's somewhere in the range of my age. and she was wearing literally leggings, like black leggings, oversized band t-shirt. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like Harley Davidson. It was just like an oversized vintage tee. Whether or not it was actually vintage, could not tell ya. And she was wearing like, you know, like a fanny pack, but like this way. And she was wearing Birkenstocks, and her hair was in a messy bun. And she didn't have any makeup on. And I was like, yes, I love this look. And then I was like, oh my God. I feel like back in the day I would have been like, oh my God, she's wearing Birkenstocks, and like, ew. And also like, put yourself together, girl. Leggings out in public, no. Unless they're like yoga flares, no. So there's that. Not that I was that judgmental girl or talk like that, but I just like was kind of laughing at myself, being like, you're admiring this outfit, and rightfully so. She looked fabulous. But it's so funny. Like back in the day, I would never be caught in Birkenstocks. I would basically never be caught wearing or doing anything that I'm doing now. And it's just funny that you evolve like that. And it's funny, like, mom jeans. Okay, to be fair, mom jeans have made a resurgence, generally speaking. But I just have this memory of being in my early 20s, late 20s, even early 30s, and looking at, like, the decade above me and thinking that their fashion choices are so lame. And now that I am in that decade above that old me, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally get why mom jeans are cool. Or like one of my sweet neighbors, he wears this like big, like goofy straw hat when he like takes the dogs for a walk. And I'm like, that's cool, man, I like that. I just think it's so funny how your tastes evolve, and things that like you wouldn't be caught dead wearing or doing are now like it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can see myself becoming the older people that I remember seeing back then. So there was that. And then this is the one that I was like, I gotta tell this story. Maybe I'm just like super sensitive, but I went to the grocery store and I was checking out, and all the people that were working there were really young at the grocery store, which honestly, awesome. I so appreciate it, because I know, like, I've been reading a lot about like people not wanting to get jobs, like people just are like not going back to work, and that's insane to me. And so I'm like, badass, like good for you guys, you're hustling, you're doing what you gotta do. So I totally respect that. And if any of you have met me in real life, or maybe you could just assume I'm super friendly for the most part in public, unless I'm like having a super bad day or I'm feeling like super anxious, and then I'm just quiet. But I'm like overly friendly. I'm always trying to like chat up people. I'm not like strangers really, but like like any sort of people that like are working. If it's like, you know, the checkout people at the grocery store, or waiters or whatever. I'm trying to be overly kind and you know, make sure that they know that they're appreciated. And so I had these two girls that were checking me out. One was like ringing me up, and the other was bagging for me. And like, neither of them were particularly friendly, which is fine. I don't care. You don't have to be. If you just are working and there are two of them were just chatting. I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't need to like interject myself. Do it up. Thank you. Do you enjoy? Oop, sorry, sweet girl. I appreciate, again, that you're working, like, fine. Does not bother me at all. Just get me out of here. I'm ready to go home and eat. So, but they were talking about something, and they were talking about reading. And the girl was, like, describing this book, or essentially I thought it was a book, and she was reading it, and it sounded freaking dope, dude. It sounded like something I'm totally into. You guys know, big reader, really appreciate recommendations, because I'm always looking for the next thing, and I haven't really started a new book yet, so I'm like really on the hunt for like the next thing I must read, which, by the way, if you have, let me know in the comments below. Please look at that little pooch over there. That's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to interject right now, like let them ring me up, like clearly they don't want to engage with me, it's fine. But then at the very end, I was like, hey, thank you so much, like, so appreciate it. And I was like, by the way, what are you, like, I'm sorry to overhear, but like, what are you talking about? Because it sounds awesome. And she's like, what? I'm like, are you reading a book? because it sounds really cool. Like, I'm always looking for something new. And she's like, oh, it's manga. But I thought she said manta. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, or is it good? Like, she's like, it's okay so far. And then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, can you say it again? What is it? And she's like, it's manga. And like, looked at me like I was crazy. Like, crazy. And I'm like, first of all, my husband reads manga, so like, I understand what you're talking about. But like, secondly, like, damn, man, I'm so sorry. Like, I wasn't trying to offend you. I don't know if I offended her. I don't know if she was taken aback by the fact that I like was trying to engage, or that she just like, I like clearly didn't present myself as knowing what it was, because I was asking for the title. Like, even if it was manga, I just wanted to know like what specific, like, what are we talking about? Because I would like to read it, but now I'm never gonna read it because I don't know what she was talking about. It's manga. She was like so offended that I even proceeded to ask. Anyways, am I being overly sensitive? Yes. Am I offended because I think she thought I was an old crazy lady? Yes. Am I an old crazy lady? Absolutely. Will I continue to figure out what kind of manga that was? Yes. Did I Google the pronunciation of manga to make sure that I said it right here? Yes. Did I know what manga was? Absolutely. Have I read manga? No. But it's not to say I won't. I just wasn't introduced to it. But anyways, that's my rant for today. Oh my God, it's so funny. I don't know. It's also hard with like masks on. Like, it's hard to like understand people's tones, and I will give, well, I'm obviously gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because I must have looked crazy, but I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I was trying really hard to engage, and also was genuinely curious in what she was reading, because I genuinely was looking for something cool to read. Even if it was manga, I would be interested in it, but she didn't tell me the title. So there's that. And then I came home and I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, you do look like an old lady today. And here I am doing laundry on the internet, on YouTube. Whoa, am I like having doom in terms of turning 40? I still have so far to go, I guess. I think I'm at like 39 and a half at this point, right? I was born in April. I'm getting there. I don't know. I just feel like, oh, I'm in this weird like transitional phase of life and I'm feeling it. Kind of funny. Anyone else out there like feeling the feels that I'm feeling? I also just feel like, generally speaking, regardless of age, going back to like life is kind of going back to normal, but everything feels like very flipped upside down. Like, we're literally living in the inside out world, upside down, inside the Stranger Things. I'm losing my mind. Again, such an old lady thing to be like trying to refer to Stranger Things, which is like a hip show, and I messed it up. Anyways, yeah, I feel like life is getting back to normal, but things are so backwards, and like, yeah, it's just such a weird time. I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. I just feel like it's such a weird time to like process everything, regardless of your age or what you're doing in life. Like, everyone's just seemingly trying to like figure it out and get their feet on the ground. So I don't know, did I make sense? Am I rambling? Is this nonsense? Will I put this up, or will I get self-conscious about the fact that I'm all turned around and upside down and inside out about someone being mad at me for not knowing what manga was? I know what it is. Sorry, sweet girl. Either way, I'm so happy that she's reading. I love hearing that people enjoy reading. I was telling my friend yesterday, actually, she teaches elementary school, and she puts together the curriculum for the school. She's amazing. She's like headmaster. I've talked about her many a times. And I was like, how are you like explaining, or how are you rather like getting kids into reading? Because I was so not into reading because we were forced to read so much. Like, I remember for summer, or like over summer, there was like 6 books we had to read, and like my brain just didn't really work like that. I was super like creative, and my imagination was wild, and I really had a hard time like sitting down and focusing. So I would be reading, but I wouldn't be paying attention. I'd be like imagining something else, and I just like, it became such a chore that it wasn't fun to me. And so she was kind of explaining, hi sweet girl, her approach on it, and how she like basically like starts off by just like reading in the classroom and reading really fun, awesome stuff and like reading out loud to the kids so that they were like, oh, this is fun. Like this is the fun time in class, as opposed to being like, here, you have to read this. Like she just started off as being like, I'm gonna read this to you guys, and it's just like, it's almost like as fun as watching TV, because you just sit there and you listen and you imagine, and then that kind of hooks the kids. So I think that's kind of interesting. But like I said, anytime anyone's talking about anything that they want to read or that they're reading that they're passionate about, I get really excited. But I will not engage any longer with the youth. I will not. I will just check out and silently humph about the fact that I don't know what they're reading, and also about the fact that my groceries just cost so much money. What a time to be alive. I mean, I think that's it, except for way back there, but I don't need to crawl back there and show you guys all my big butt. Or do I? I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to me rant and rave. It all comes like from such a good place, and obviously just like a place of self-deprecation. I'm just like, I want to be cool and hip, and I want to be in the know, and I was trying to do that, and I was not in the know, and I wear Birkenstocks, and I think leggings in public are cool now, so that's who I am. I love you guys all so very much. I appreciate you greatly. Let me know in the comments below a moment that you had where either you had an awkward interaction with someone checking you out at the grocery store. I have them all the time, like all the time. And or a moment when you like had this realization where you're like, oh, I'm not in the know anymore, or I'm not the hip one, or I'm not the young one. You fill in the blank, but the sentiment and feelings are exactly the same. All right, that's it. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.